Okay, auto scaling with ECS. So if you've watched the video on task definitions within ECS, you might remember that I said that they were just like an EC2 launch configuration or launch template. ECS auto scaling is also very similar to EC2 auto scaling. It's called service auto scaling within ECS, and it creates tasks rather than EC2 instances. But other than that, it's extremely similar. You set a minimum and maximum number of tasks, and you have a desired capacity, so the desired number of tasks. And there are multiple mechanisms you might use to configure the desired number of tasks. So you might use target tracking, where we say, okay, maintain 70% utilization and run the appropriate number of tasks to try and hit that figure. We might have step scaling, where we say, okay, well, if there's just one message on the queue, just run a single task or add a single task. But if there's more than 10 messages on the queue, we don't want to get too far behind, so add 5 tasks to go and process those messages. We can also do scheduled scaling based on time, and we can use predictive scaling just like we can in EC2 to try and predict when we're going to need to scale up and preemptively scale up. If we are running our ECS cluster on top of EC2, there is also cluster auto scaling. I wouldn't get too worried about this. It's probably not going to get mentioned in the exam too much. It's certainly not going to get mentioned in any detail. Just beware that there is this thing called a capacity alert that ECS sends, and it fires the EC2 auto scaling group to increase its desired capacity and increase the number of instances. So then we have both a desired capacity for the number of tasks and a desired capacity for the number of underlying EC2 instances on which those tasks might run. And obviously those values are not necessarily going to be the same, because we might be running multiple tasks on a single EC2 instance. If you're using Fargate, you don't need to worry about any of this, and it's all very simple. You essentially just say, right, I want this number of tasks, and that's what you get. You don't need to worry anything about the underlying infrastructure. Okay, so here are some notes for you. Until next time, enjoy the cloud.